Imagine waking up one day and everything you thought was true crumbles. Not because of an earthquake, not because of a war, but because of your own brothers. The people who slept in the same room as you. The ones who sat at your same table. The ones who saw your mother cry. Those same people, one ordinary day, decide the world would be better without you. They don't kill you with blows. They don't stab you. Something worse. They throw you into a dry cistern. A hole 3 meters deep with no water, no food, no hope. And while you are down there in the darkness, listening to the echo of your own heartbeat, up above they sit down to eat bread. They laugh. They share the bread among themselves. And they ask each other, what did God mean by that boy's dreams? Today I'm not going to tell you the pretty story of Joseph and the coat of many colors. There will be no rainbows, no easy moral, no rushed happy ending. We're going to open the black box of the most dysfunctional family in the Bible. We're going to put our hands into the wounds that won't heal. And at the end of this journey, which will take as long as it needs because this pain cannot be rushed, I will ask you an uncomfortable question, one you might not want to answer out loud, one that could change the way you look at your own pit. Have you also been Joseph without knowing it? Have you been the favored child or the hated one? Have you been the dreamer or the mocker of dreams? Are you still at the bottom of some pit, or have you already begun to climb? Stay, because this story is not only from 3,000 years ago. It's your story, it's mine, and it's just beginning. To understand Joseph, we have to do what almost no one does. Look back, far back, because the wounds we see in this story were not born in a single day like a bump. They were woven over generations, like a red thread of pain that passes from father to son, from mother to daughter, from grandfather to grandson. And that thread, if no one cuts it, ends up strangling the whole family. Joseph will be the one to cut the thread, but it will cost him 22 years of hell. It all begins with Abraham, the great patriarch. Abraham had 2 sons, Isaac and Ishmael. One was the son of promise, the son of Sarah, the legitimate wife. The other was the son of the slave Hagar. And one day, Abraham, at Sarah's command, casts out Ishmael and his mother into the desert, with some bread and a skin of water. Nothing more. Think about that. A father abandoning his own son in the desert to die. The Bible doesn't tell it with tears, but the text says Hagar sat down at a distance, about a bowshot away, because she could not watch her son die, and she wept. What did Isaac, the son who stayed, learn? He learned that in this family, love is a limited resource. It only reaches one. The other is surplus. And that lesson, though unspoken, he will bring to his own household. Isaac marries Rebekah, and Rebekah becomes pregnant with twins. Already in the womb, the twins fight. God tells her, 2 nations are in your womb, and the older will serve the younger. The twins are born, Esau, the first, red and hairy, Jacob, the second, grasping his brother's heel. And here comes the second inheritance of pain. Isaac, the father, loves Esau because he eats his game. Rebekah, the mother, loves Jacob because he is quieter. Already favoritism, already division. One day, Jacob cooks a stew. Esau returns from the field, starving, and he sells his birthright for a bowl of lentils. It wasn't a fair trade. It was manipulation. Jacob took advantage of his brother's weakness. And later, when Isaac is old and blind, Rebekah helps Jacob disguise himself with goat skins to deceive his father and steal Esau's blessing. Jacob stands before his blind father and says, I am Esau, your firstborn. Isaac eats, blesses, and when Esau arrives, it is too late. Esau weeps. The Bible says, Esau lifted up his voice and wept. He wept bitterly, and he swore to kill Jacob. See the pattern? Deceit, theft, abandonment, death. That is what Joseph inherits. That is his family tree. It is not a cedar of Lebanon. It is a twisted tree with poisoned roots. Jacob flees. He lives 20 years with his uncle Laban, and there he learns new lessons in how to deceive and be deceived. Laban tricks him by giving him Leah instead of Rachel. Jacob works 14 years for Rachel, then 6 more for sheep. He marries 2 sisters who hate each other. Leah, ugly in Jacob's eyes, and Rachel, the beloved. And from that divided womb, from that eternal competition for a man's love, 11 sons and 1 daughter, Dinah, are born. Leah has Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun. Bilhah and Zilpah, the slaves, have Dan, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. And Rachel, the beloved, the barren for years, finally has Joseph. Joseph is born when Jacob is already old. He has fought his whole life. He has seen betrayals, committed betrayals. He has fled. He has returned. And when at last he sees this son of Rachel, the woman he truly loved, his heart overflows. And he makes the first miscalculation of this story, a mistake everyone will pay for. Have you ever seen a father or mother who loves one child so openly, so clearly, that the other children become spectators of their own abandonment? That was Jacob with Joseph. And that is what poisoned that family long before Joseph had a single dream. Jacob gives Joseph a robe, but not just any robe. The Hebrew text says kedenit passim. It is a robe with long sleeves reaching the feet. In those days, in Canaan and Egypt, that type of robe was worn by sons who did not work, who did not shepherd, the heirs, the princes. While the other 10 brothers soiled their hands with sheep dung and burned their skin under the Dothan sun, Joseph paraded around in a luxurious robe, as if to say, I don't work. I am a special one. Was it Joseph's fault? No, he didn't ask for the robe, but he accepted the privilege without measuring its consequences. And sometimes the biggest mistake is not what you do, but what you allow to be done to you without saying this is wrong. Joseph was 17. 17, the age of foolishness, of unconsciousness, of feeling invincible. He could have told his father, Dad, this will make my brothers hate me even more. But he didn't, because deep down, at 17, being hated is also a way of feeling that you matter. The biblical text in Genesis 37 says something terrible. It says, And when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and could not speak peaceably to him. Could not speak peaceably. That phrase is an emotional well. It means every attempt at conversation ended in sarcasm. Every word from Joseph sounded like provocation. Every silence of his like contempt. Jacob's house had become a battlefield where the weapons were glances. Let's think about the brothers. Reuben, the firstborn, son of Leah, his father never looked at him with the same eyes as Joseph. Simeon and Levi, the violent ones. Judah, who always kept silent. They saw how their father prepared the best food, the best clothing, the best attention for Joseph. And meanwhile, they shepherded in the cold, in the heat, with wolves and thieves. Can we justify the hatred? No. Can we understand it? Yes. Favoritism is a silent poison. It kills the self-esteem of the non-favored and poisons the character of the favored. If you had to be honest with yourself, were you the Joseph of your family or one of the other brothers? Were you the one who received more love or the one who watched from outside? Because that answer, painful as it may be, will tell you why you react the way you do today to injustice. Now, comes the part that Sunday school usually sweetens. Because we can't feel sorry for Joseph if we don't first see his B-side. And yes, he had it. Joseph was not a little angel. He was an arrogant teenager, And what's worse, a teenager with symbolic power and the backing of the most powerful father in the region. One day, Joseph has a dream, and in that dream, he and his brothers are tying sheaves in the field. Suddenly, Joseph's sheaf rises and stands upright, and the sheaves of his brothers all bow down to his. It is a prophetic dream. God is speaking, but Joseph, instead of keeping it in his heart, as Mary would later do, runs to tell the dream to the very brothers who already hate him. What did he expect? Applause? An apology? For them to say, "Little brother, what a nice dream. Surely God has a wonderful plan for you." No, Joseph wanted to feel that his dreams mattered. He wanted confirmation. He wanted to rub it in their faces that he was special, and he didn't realize he was pouring gasoline on the fire. Sometime later, he has another dream. This one is more ambitious. He dreams that the sun, the moon, and 11 stars bow down to him. Now, not only his brothers, but his father and mother as well. Joseph goes and tells it. This time, even his father rebukes him. "Shall your mother and I and your brothers indeed come to bow down to you?" But Jacob, and this is key, Jacob kept the saying in his heart. That is, the old father senses that there is something divine there, but the brothers see only arrogance. Tell me honestly, have you ever been right, but the way you said it cost you everything? Have you lost a friend, a job, a relationship, not because you were wrong, but because you had the truth but not the humility? That is Joseph at this moment. He is right. God really has a plan for him, but he presents it as a trophy, not as a mystery. And truth without grace is like a knife without a handle. It hurts both the giver and the receiver. And the brothers, fed up, cross a line. First, they hate him in silence. Then they begin to plot. The text says, when they saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and could not speak peaceably to him. Could not speak peaceably. That phrase, repeated, now resonates more. It's not that they didn't want to speak to him. It's that they couldn't. Every word became a fight. Every silence, resentment. And resentment, when not spoken, grows like ivy on a wall, until one day the wall falls. Joseph walks toward the brothers, now close enough to see their faces. He still has a smile on his face. He does not yet know that these men, his own flesh and blood, have already decided his fate. The brothers huddle together. They speak in low, rapid voices, glancing at Joseph as he approaches. Simeon's lips move silently, his face twisted with rage. Levi nods, his hand gripping a wooden staff. Reuben stands apart, his expression torn. He looks from Joseph to his brothers, conflicted. Judah listens, his eyes calculating. Then he looks down at the ground. He is weighing something. Then the brothers break from the huddle. They spread out slightly, forming a loose circle. Joseph raises a hand in greeting. His smile is genuine. He has no idea. Someone's hand reaches down to pick up a stone, hiding it behind a back. Joseph enters the circle. The landscape around them is empty. There is no escape. Simeon steps forward and grabs Joseph by the arm, roughly. Joseph's smile vanishes. Shock and fear replace it. Levi grabs the other arm. Joseph struggles, but he is overpowered. His hands try to pull away, fingers slipping. The brothers surround him, pulling him toward a nearby dry cistern. His feet drag on the ground. The ornate tunic is grabbed and torn slightly at the shoulder. Joseph looks toward Reuben, his eyes pleading. Reuben looks away. He cannot meet Joseph's gaze. The cistern is a dark hole in the ground. The brothers push Joseph toward its edge. His feet are at the rim. Dirt crumbles into the darkness below. Simeon and Levi lift Joseph. His body goes limp in surrender. Then they swing him toward the opening. He falls, arms flailing, down into the darkness. From inside the cistern, looking up, Joseph's body falls toward the camera, then hits the ground with a thud. He lies on rough stones, curled, gasping for breath. He looks up. His hand reaches toward the light, fingers stretching. He touches the rough stone wall, scraping it, leaving a faint blood mark. Tears stream down his face. His lips move in silent prayer or lament. Above, the brothers' silhouettes move away. The sky is a small circle far above. The brothers sit in a circle away from the cistern. One spreads a cloth on the ground with bread and cheese. Simeon tears a piece of bread, chewing, a cold satisfaction on his face. Bread is broken by rough hands. Crumbs fall to the ground. Levi passes a piece to another brother. They exchange a glance of grim understanding. One of them eats, then pauses, looking toward the cistern briefly, then continuing. Judah eats slowly, his expression unreadable. He does not look at the cistern. Reuben sits apart. He does not eat. He stares at the ground. His food is untouched. His hands clench a piece of bread, then crumble it without eating. Then a caravan appears on the horizon. Camels and traders, approaching slowly. Judah stands up. He points toward the caravan and speaks to the others. "What profit is it if we kill our brother?" he says. His voice is cold, calculating. Simeon is initially angry, then reluctantly nods. Levi looks at the caravan, then at the cistern, then nods. The caravan approaches closer. The lead trader's face becomes visible. Judah counts coins in his palm. 20 pieces of silver, the price of a slave. The brothers agree. A dark consensus is reached. Reuben realizes he has lost control. His expression is a mix of relief, the brother is not dead, and guilt. Two brothers approach the cistern. One carries a rope. They look down. Joseph looks up, his face dirty and tear-streaked. Hope flickers. A rope is lowered. His hand reaches up and grasps it desperately. Joseph is pulled up from the cistern. His body emerges from darkness into light. He stands at the edge, blinking, his tunic dirty and torn. He looks at his brothers with confusion. Then his wrists are bound with rope by Simeon. Joseph's eyes widen in renewed fear. The caravan has stopped. The lead trader examines Joseph, nods, hands over silver coins. Judah receives the 20 pieces, weighs them in his hand, then puts them in a pouch. Joseph is led away by the traders. He looks back over his shoulder at his brothers. His expression is broken. Joseph walks away with the caravan. His small figure disappears into the dusty horizon. The brothers watch. Now the brothers stand around. One holds Joseph's ornate tunic, now dirty and torn. A knife is held. A young goat is brought. The goat is killed. Blood spills onto the ground. The tunic is dipped into the goat's blood. The bright colors stain dark red. Blood soaks into the ornate embroidery. The red spreads like a wound. The brothers fold the bloodied tunic. They will take it to Jacob. Reuben looks at it, his face pale. He turns away. Judah looks at the tunic, his expression unreadable. Then he looks toward the horizon where Joseph disappeared. The brothers begin the walk back to their father's camp. One carries the bloodied tunic. A single drop of blood falls from the tunic onto the dusty ground. Then another. Jacob's encampment at dusk. Jacob sits outside his tent, looking toward the horizon, waiting. His expression is worried. His eyes scan the distance. He is an anxious father. The brothers approach the camp. Their silhouettes are visible. One carries the tunic. Jacob stands as he sees them. A hopeful smile starts, then fades as he notices their somber faces. The bloodied tunic is presented. A brother's hands hold it out. Jacob's hands reach out, trembling. He takes the tunic. His eyes widen in horror. He recognizes it. His mouth opens in a silent wail. Tears immediately form. Jacob falls to his knees. He clutches the bloodied tunic. His body shakes with sobs. He tears his clothing, an ancient sign of mourning. His face is contorted in grief. His hands tear the garment. The fabric rips. His knuckles are white. Jacob sits on the ground. He wears sackcloth. Ashes are on his head. The bloodied tunic is beside him. His face is aged and broken. Tears stream down his weathered cheeks. His hand clutches the bloodied tunic, pressing it to his chest. He rocks back and forth. His lips move in silent lament. He refuses to be comforted. He says, "I will go down to the grave mourning for my son." They camp at night. Jacob sits alone by a dying fire. The bloodied tunic is still in his hands. The brothers are in their tents. The stars come out. One star seems dimmer than the others. "Father, mother, grandparent," he says, "have you ever had to pretend that something that destroys you doesn't hurt?" That was Jacob. Every night, looking at the empty chair of Joseph. Every day, wondering if his favorite son was alive. And the brothers carried the guilt in silence for 2 decades. Guilt is a deeper pit than the one they dug for Joseph. Time passes. 20 years. Jacob's 10 ages. Jacob's face ages further. More wrinkles, white hair. He still wears sackcloth. The bloodied tunic, now faded and fragile, is still kept in his tent. The brothers live their lives. They marry. They have children. But they never speak of Joseph. Reuben is older now, bearded. His face is still haunted. He looks toward the horizon. Judah is older, more authoritative, but with a shadow in his eyes. And in Egypt, Joseph is now 30 years old. He wears Egyptian clothing. His face is hardened but intelligent. He has survived. He has been a slave. He has been falsely accused. He has been imprisoned. But even in prison, he led. He helped. He did not break. Joseph arrives in Egypt in chains. He does not speak the language. He does not know the gods. He has no money, no friends, no future. He is a teenage foreigner in an empire that despises Hebrew shepherds. The Egyptians would not eat with Hebrews. They consider them inferior. And Joseph is alone, in the middle of a slave market, with a rope around his neck, while buyers look at his teeth and muscles as if he were an animal. But here, something unexpected happens. Joseph stops being an arrogant boy. He becomes an observer. He learns Egyptian in months. He learns to read men, to identify the powerful man who feels insecure, the rich man who wants to appear more than he is. Joseph develops what today we would call emotional and political intelligence. Suffering, when it doesn't kill you, sharpens you. Like water sharpens stone, drop by drop. He is bought by Potiphar, captain of the guard of Pharaoh, a powerful man with access to the throne. And Joseph works. He does not complain. He does not play the victim. He does not spend his days saying, "Poor me, my brothers sold me." He works. He cleans. He cooks. He administers. He runs. He sweats. He gets dirty. And he works so well, with such excellence, that Potiphar notices something different in him. The text says that the Lord was with Joseph, but it wasn't magic. It was attitude. Joseph did his work as if every brick he placed was a prayer. Potiphar promotes him, first to assistant, then to steward of his entire house. Joseph goes from the pit to the palace of captain. But careful, this is not the happy ending. This is only the second act of a 5-act play, because hell has several levels, and Joseph has not yet hit bottom. Potiphar's wife notices Joseph. He is young, he is foreign, he has no family to defend him. And in a captain's harem, boredom and desire are dangerous weapons. She harasses him day after day. "Lie with me," she says. Once, twice, 10 times. And Joseph says no. But not just any no. Joseph explains, "My master trusts me with everything. He has held back nothing from me except you, because you are his wife. How then could I do this great wickedness and sin against God. It's a reasoned, ethical, brave no. A no that will cost him dearly. One day, when there is no one else in the house, she grabs him by his cloak. Joseph flees. He runs toward the door, but she tears off his cloak. The fabric remains in her hands, and with that cloak as proof, she accuses him of rape. When Potiphar returns, she lies. "The Hebrew slave you brought in came to mock me." Potiphar becomes enraged, not because he believes Joseph is guilty. He probably knows his wife is lying, but because the honor of his house has been stained, and a slave is disposable, much more than a wife's honor. How many times have you done the right thing and it went wrong? How many times did you tell the truth, flee from sin, remain faithful to your principles, and the result was punishment? That is Joseph at this moment. Faithfulness costs him prison. It's not fair. It's not logical, but it is real. And life, sometimes, does not reward virtue immediately. Sometimes it buries it. Joseph is thrown into the royal prison, where Pharaoh's political prisoners were kept. He goes from one pit to another pit, from a dry cistern to a dark cell. But here there is a difference. In prison, Joseph does again what he did in Potiphar's house. He works. He helps. He becomes a leader among the prisoners. The text says that the prison warden put Joseph in charge of all the inmates. Because Joseph had a gift. Wherever he fell, he flourished. Not because the ground was good, but because the seed was resilient. Adversity did not break him. It bent him like wind bends a young tree. But it did not snap him. Now comes the hardest part to tell. Not because it is violent, but because it is silent. Violence is seen. Silence is felt. And it hurts more. Joseph spends years in prison. Not months. Years. The text does not say exactly how many, but from the chronology, it was at least 2 or 3 years before what comes next. And during that time, what did Joseph do? He waited. Waited without knowing how long. Waited without knowing if anyone remembered him. Waited without knowing if God existed or if it was all a cruel joke. In prison, he meets 2 of Pharaoh's officials who have fallen from grace, the cupbearer and the baker. Both had served at Pharaoh's table. Both made some mistake. Now they are imprisoned together with Joseph. And one night, both have dreams. Dreams that trouble them. Joseph, who knows what it is to be consumed by a dream, asks them, "Why are your faces sad today?" They tell him, and Joseph says, "Do not interpretations belong to God? Tell me your dreams." The cupbearer dreams of a vine with 3 branches that bud and produce grapes. He squeezes the grapes in a Pharaoh's cup. Joseph interprets 3 branches are 3 days. In 3 days, Pharaoh will restore you to your position. You will be cupbearer again. The baker dreams of 3 baskets of white bread on his head, and birds eat from the baskets. Joseph interprets 3 days, and Pharaoh will hang you on a tree, and the birds will eat your flesh. Both dreams come true, exactly as Joseph said. Before the cupbearer leaves, Joseph says something that breaks the heart. "Remember me when it goes well with you. Please show me kindness. Mention me to Pharaoh and get me out of this house." Joseph does not ask for a miracle. He asks for a favor. He admits he needs human help. He is not the arrogant Joseph of the dreams. He is a broken man, humble, who knows that he cannot do it alone. The cupbearer leaves, and he forgets Joseph. 2 full years. 2 years of silence. 2 years in which every morning Joseph would wake up in his cell, look at the stone ceiling, and think, maybe today the message will come. And the message never came. The cupbearer, who had been saved by Joseph, who had wept with joy when he heard the interpretation, who had embraced Joseph before leaving. That same man forgot him completely. It was not malice. It was indifference. And indifference hurts more than hatred, because hatred at least recognizes you. Have you waited for something for 2 years? He asks. A promise from God, a dream job, a reconciliation with a child, a sick person's recovery. 2 years watching hope turn into routine, and routine into doubt. 2 years wondering if you did something wrong, if God abandoned you, if your dreams were just a mirage. That is what Joseph lived. But here is the lesson that no easy sermon will give you. Sometimes the forgetfulness of others is part of the plan. Not because God is cruel, but because the blessing that comes without waiting often finds us immature. Joseph needed 2 more years in prison to learn what he did not learn in his father's house or in Potiphar's house. To wait without bitterness. To trust without seeing results. To live the present without dying for the future. Famine comes, not only to Egypt, but to the whole region. Canaan suffers too. Jacob, the old father, sends his 10 sons to Egypt to buy grain. Only Benjamin, Joseph's younger brother, also Rachel's son, stays home. Jacob is afraid of losing Benjamin as well. The brothers arrive before the governor of Egypt. They do not know he is Joseph. He recognizes them immediately. 20 years have passed. They have aged, but he recognizes them by their eyes, by their gestures, by the way they move. His heart beats fast, but he does not reveal himself. Instead, he accuses them of being spies. He throws them in prison for 3 days. He demands that they bring Benjamin to prove they are telling the truth. Simeon is left in chains as a guarantee. Joseph tests them. He wants to know if they have changed. He wants to know if they feel remorse. He wants to know if they're the same ones who threw him into the pit. And then, when Benjamin finally arrives, Joseph can no longer contain himself. He sends all the Egyptians out. He is left alone with his brothers. And he weeps. The Bible says, Joseph hurried out, for he was deeply moved over his brother, and he looked for a place to weep. He went into his private room and wept there. Then he washes his face, comes out, and controls himself. But when he can no longer hold back, when the final scene arrives, he sends everyone out and makes himself known. And then he speaks the words that summarize this entire story. I am Joseph. Is my father still alive? The brothers are terrified. They cannot speak. The text says they were dismayed before him. And Joseph, the one who was sold, the one who was hated, the one who spent 22 years in hell, says, do not be distressed or angry with yourselves because you sold me here, because God sent me before you to preserve life. Joseph does not deny the evil. He does not say, you did nothing to me. He does not minimize the wound. He says, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good. That is the difference between a survivor and a wise man. The survivor forgets. The wise man reinterprets. Joseph does not erase the pit. He turns it into a ladder. He does not erase the sail. He turns it into a journey. He does not erase the prison. He turns it into a school. The evil done to him was real, but God was greater than the evil. And that does not justify the brothers. The brothers did wrong, but God, in his sovereignty, used that evil for a greater good. Can you do that with your pain? The storyteller asks, looking directly at the viewer. Can you look at those who betrayed you and say, you meant evil against me, but God used it for good? It's not easy. It's not quick. It took Joseph 22 years and a face-to-face meeting with his tormentors. But it is possible, not because the pain disappears, but because the purpose becomes greater than the wound. And finally, Joseph forgives. He embraces his brothers. He weeps on their necks. He kisses Benjamin, and all of Jacob's family, 70 people, moves to Egypt. Joseph saves the very ones who wanted to kill him. The dreamer, at last, sees his dreams fulfilled, not in the arrogant way he imagined at 17, but in a much more beautiful way, as an instrument of salvation for those who hated him. Joseph's miscalculation, he says, was believing that his dreams would come true through his own arrogance. The wisdom was understanding that suffering was not the end, it was the school. That the pit was not a punishment, but a womb where God was gestating him for a greater purpose. That the sale was not a defeat, but a passage to a country he did not know. That the prison was not a forgetfulness, but a waiting room where he would learn to trust without seeing. And now, after this whole journey, which has taken as long as it needed because this pain cannot be rushed, I have to ask you the uncomfortable question I promised at the beginning. Is there a pit in your life that you still haven't climbed out of? A blood-stained tunic you're still weeping over? Brothers who betrayed you and you cannot forgive? A dream that died and you don't know how to resurrect it? Because maybe, just maybe, those brothers who harmed you were the Trojan horse of your own palace. Without the pit, you wouldn't have looked up to heaven. Without the sail, you wouldn't have reached Egypt. Without the prison, you wouldn't have met Pharaoh. Without the forgetfulness, you wouldn't have learned to wait. I do not tell you that evil is good. I do not tell you that pain is a gift. I tell you that God can take the poison others gave you and turn it into medicine. Not because he wants the poison, but because he is stronger than the poison. Joseph did not forget. Joseph forgave. And in forgiving, he not only freed his brothers, he freed himself. Because resentment is a darker prison than any Egyptian dungeon. And forgiveness is the key that opens the door. If this way of seeing Joseph has made you think, if it has stirred something inside you, write in the comments. Tell me, what has been your pit? Who sold you? Whom do you need to forgive? I read every response, because we are not here to listen to sermons. We are here to remind each other that suffering, while traversed, becomes a throne, and that the God of Joseph is still the God of pits, of sails, of prisons, and of palaces. Subscribe if you want to keep opening these black boxes of the Bible. Hit the bell, because Sunday school is over. Here he starts speaking truth, the kind that hurts, the kind that heals, the kind that sets free. And you, have you already forgiven your brothers?